Good day everyone, I am Rhea May Pomoseno and I'm going to report the product liability. The Consumer Protection Act 1987. This act implements in the UK the provisions of the EC Directive of July 25, 1985 on the approximation of the laws, regulations and administrative provisions of the member states concerning liability for detective products. The Act also first consolidates with amendments the Consumer Safety Act 1978 and the Consumer Safety Amendment Act 1986. Second, makes a provision with respect to the giving of price indications. Third, admins Part 1 of the HSWA and Section 31 and 780 of the Explosive Act 1975. Lastly, repeals the Trade Descriptions Act 1972 and the Fabrics Misdescription Act 1913. So we are now in the Part 1, Product Liability. Some important definitions. Product means any good or electricity and subject to the proviso below. Include products that are used in another product, whether by virtue or being component part or raw material for it or otherwise. The proviso is that a person who supplies any product in which products are used whether by virtue or being component parts or raw materials or otherwise shall not be treated by reason only for their supply of that product but as supplying any of the products so compromised. Liability for defective product Section 2, where any damage is caused wholly or partly as a result of there being the defect in the product. All of the following shall be liable for the damage. First, the producer of the product. Second, any person who, by putting their name on the product or using a trademark or other distinguishing mark in relation to the product, has held themselves out to be producer of the product. Third, any person who has imported the product into a member state from a place or other than one of the member states in order, in the course of business, of theirs to supply it to another, where any damage is caused, wholly or partly as a result of the defect in the product, any person who supplied the product, whether to the person who suffered damage, to the producer of any product in which the product in question is a part of any other person, shall be liable for the damage if, first, the person who suffered damage requests the supplier to identify one or more of the people, whether still in existence or not, detailed in the list above in relation to the product. Second, this request is made within a reasonable period after the damage occurs and at a time when it is not reasonably practicable for the person making the request, either to comply with the request or to identify the person who supplied the product to them. Lastly, the supplier fails within a reasonable period after receiving the request, either to comply with the request or to identify the person who supplied the product to them. Next is the meaning of defect, Section 3. Subject to the following provisions, there is a defect in a product if the safety of the product is not of the kind one would generally be entitled to be expect. For those purposes, safety in relation to a product shall include safety with respect to products used in that product and safety in the context of any risk of damage to the property, as well as in the context of risk of death of personal injury, and nothing in this section requires a defect to be inferred on its own from the fact that the safety of the product that is supplied after the time is greater than the safety of the product in question. Defenses Section 4. In any civil law proceeding against any person in respect of a defect in a product, it shall be defense if they can show that the defect is attributed to compliance with any requirement imposed by or under the enactment or with any community obligation. Next, that the person proceed against did not at any time supply to product to other. That the following conditions are satisfied. That the only supply of the product to another by the person proceed against was otherwise than in the course of the business of that persons. that the Section 2 above does not apply to the person or applies to them by virtue only of the things done otherwise than the view to profit. That the effect did not exist in the product at the relevant time. Next is that the state of scientific or technical knowledge at the relevant time was not such that a producer of the products of the kind in the question might have been under their control or the state of art defense. The defect is constitute a defect in the product of which the product in question was a part and was wholly attributable either to the design of the subsequent products. Damage giving rise to liability, Section 5. Damage is meant death or personal injury of any loss of or damage to any property. A person shall not be liable under Section 2 for any defect in the product for the loss or damage to the whole or part of any product if it has been supplied as a part another product. A person shall not be liable under Section 2 for any loss of a damage to any property that, at the time it is not loss or damage from the facts observed of ascertainable by this person. From the facts ascertainable is not ordinary intended for private use, occupation, or consumption. Intended by the person suffering the loss or the damage mainly for their own private use, occupation, or consumption. By the person's knowledge is meant knowledge that a person might reasonable have been expected to acquire, first from the facts observable or ascertainable by this person, from the facts ascertainable from the person with the help of appropriate expert advice that is reasonable to seek. Prohibition and execution from liability, Section 7. The liability of a person by a virtue who has suffered damage caused wholly or partly as a result of a direct in a product, or to the dependent or relatives of such a person, shall not be limited or excluded by any contract term, by any notice, or by any other provisions. By notice is meant notice in writing. So we are now in the Part 2, Consumer Safety. Part 2 deals with the general safety requirement that making it an offense to supply unsafe consumer goods. This provision supplements certain provisions of Consumer Safety Act 1978 providing coverage where there are no specific safety regulation under the Act. The Environmental Protection Act 1990. This act brought in fundamental changes regarding the control of pollution and the protection of the environment. It repeated completely the Alkali, etc. Works Regulation Act 1906 and the Public Health Act 1969, and certain sections of well-established environmental protections legislation such as the Public Health Act 1936 and 1961, Control of Pollution Act 1954, and the Clean Air 1956. In Part 1, we have integrated pollution control and air pollution controlled by local authorities. In Part 2, we have waste on land. Part 3, statutory nuisance and clean air. Part 4, litter. Part 5, amendments to Radioactive Substance Act 1960. Part 6, Genetically Modified Organisms. Part 7, Nature Conservation. And lastly, Part 8, Miscellaneous Provisions, for instance relating to the control of stray dogs and stable burning. And now let's proceed to the Part 1, Integrated Pollution Control, Air Pollution Control by Local Authorities. This part of the Act identifies industrial processes that are scheduled for control either by Her Majesty's Inspectorate of Pollution or HMIP or by local authorities. Last, industrial processes are split into two parts scheduled for purposes of enforcement. A BPEO is the outcome of systematic consultative and decision-making procedure which emphasizes the protection and conservation of the environment across the land and water. IPC covers waste streams into air, water, and land. The general approach is to minimize these waste streams to ensure that BPEO for the process is applied. Enforcement Arrangement. Section 13 of the EPA states that where the enforcing authority is the opinion that the person carrying on the prescribed process under the authorization is contravening any condition of that authorization, or is likely to contravene any such conditions, the authority may serve an enforcement notice. Section 14 of EPA makes provision for the service of prohibition notice. The enforcing authority is the opinion as respect the carrying out of prescribed process under an authorization that they continue to carry it out or to do so in a particular manner involves an imminent risk of serious pollution of the environment. The authority shall serve prohibition notice of the person carrying out the process. Section 17 provides inspectors appointed under EPA with consideration of powers regarding premises on which a prescribed process is or is believed to be carried out and to those on which a prescribed process has been carried out, the condition of which is believed to pose a risk of serious pollution in the environment. Part 2. Waste on land. The EPA imposes a duty of care on anyone who imports, carries, keeps, trades, or disposes of waste. Such people must take all reasonable steps to ensure that the waste is collected, transported, and disposed of by licensed operators, that is, those issued with a waste management license. Part 3. Statutory Nuisance and Clean Air. Section 79 with statutory nuisance and inspections. The following matters constitute nuisance. First, any premises that are in such a state as to be prejudicial to health or cause a nuisance. Second, smoke emitted from premises that is prejudicial to health or causes a nuisance. Fumes or gases emitted premises that is prejudicial to health or causes a nuisance. Fourth, any dust, steam, smell, or other effusions arising on industrial, trade, or business that are prejudicial to health or cause a nuisance. Fifth, any animal kept in a place of or manner that is prejudicial to health or cause a nuisance. Noise emitted from premises that is prejudicial to health or cause a nuisance. And lastly, any other matter that is declared by any enactment to be statutory nuisance. It shall be the duty of every LA to ensure that is the area is inspected from time to detect any statutory nuisance that ought to be dealt with under Section 90. Summary proceedings for statutory nuisance. Where LA is satisfied that the statutory nuisance exists, or it is likely to occur or recur, that is the area of the authority, the LA shall serve an abatement notice, imposing all or any of the following requirements, such as requiring the abatement of the nuisance or prohibiting or restricting its occurrence or recurrence, requiring the execution of any works and taking of the other steps that may be necessary for any of these purposes. Next, except in the next two cases below, on the person responsible for the nuisance. Where the nuisance arises from any defect of a structural character, the owner of the premises. Lastly, where the person is responsible for the nuisance cannot be found or the nuisance has not yet occurred, on the owner or occupier of the premises. A person served with an abatement notice may appeal to a magistrate's court within 21 days, beginning with the date on which they were served with the notice. Failure to comply with abatement notice can result in the defendant being subjected to fine exceeding level 5 on the standard scale, together with a further fine of an amount equal to 1/10 of that level for each day the offense continues after the defendant has been evicted. See Table 3.1 for these penalties and the others under the EPA. As you see, the health and safety law, this is the statutory nuisance procedure under the environmental protection. The term organism means any a cellular, uncellular, or multicellular entity other than humans or human embryos, and unless the context otherwise requires. The term also includes any article of some substance consisting of biological matter. Biological matter meaning anything that consists of or includes tissue or cell, genes, or other genetic material in a form that is so capable. Second, an organism is genetically modified if any genes or genetic material in the organism. Lastly, the techniques that may be prescribed for the above purposes include by combination, insertion, or deflection of any component parts of the material from its previously occurring state and the opinion of the secretary state, but do not include techniques that involve more than or no more than the assistance of naturally occurring process of reproduction, including selective breeding techniques or in vitro fertilization.